Good morning, we are from Group 6 and today we are going to talk about fungi, specifically the key roles of fungi. Now there are going to be four topics in these discussions, which are fungi as decomposers, fungi as mutualists, fungi as parasites, and the practical uses of fungi. Now what is fungi? Fungi can either be single cell or complex multicellular organisms. There are known about 144 known species of organisms of the kingdom fungi, which includes the yeast, rust, moths, mildews, molds, and mushrooms. There are also many fungus-like organisms, including slime molds and oomycetes, that do not belong to the kingdom of fungi but are often called fungi. Many of these fungus-like organisms are included in the kingdom of Cremista. Fungi are among the most widely distributed organisms on Earth and are of great environmental and medical importance. In other words, fungi are cosmopolitans. Many fungi are free living in soil or water, others from parasitic and symbiotic relationships with plants and animals. Now fungi are eukaryotic organisms. Their cells contain membrane-bound organelles and clearly defined nuclei. Historically, fungi were included in the plant kingdom. However, because they lack the chlorophyll and are distinguished by unique structural and physiological features such as components of the cell wall and cell membrane, which is chitin, they have been separated from the plants. In addition, fungi are clearly distinguished from all other living organisms, including animals, by their principles, modes of vegetative growth, and nutrient intake. Fungi grow from the tips of filaments that made up the bodies of the organisms, and they digest organic matter externally before absorbing it into their mycelia. In other words, you can say that all fungi are heterotrophic, which means that they get the energy that they need to live from other organisms. Like animals, fungi extract the energy stored in the bonds of organic compounds such as sugar and protein from living or dead organisms. While mushroom and toadstools or poisonous mushrooms are by no means the most numerous or economically significant fungi, they are the most easily recognized. The Latin word for mushroom, fungus, or the plural form of fungi, has come to stand for the whole group. Similarly, the study of fungi is known as mycology, a broad application of the Greek word for mushroom, myces. Fungi other than the mushroom are sometimes collectively called molds, although this term is better restricted to fungi of the sort represented by bread molds. Now the next topic will be about fungi as decomposers. But before that, I want to say that fungi can influence other organisms by acting as well-adapted decomposers. Organic materials, including the cellulose and lignin of plant cell walls, any carbon-containing substrate, jet fuel, and even house paint can be affected by fungi. Now the next topic will be delivered by Fikar, if you please.
Fungi and bacteria are firmly held responsible for keeping ecosystems stocked with inorganic nutrients. These nutrients are essentials for plant growth. If these decomposers were to disappear, then plants and animals that eat them could cease to exist. The elements taken from the soil such as carbon, nitrogen, and others will then be returned. Not only are fungi capable of forming a parasitic relationship, but also mutualistic relationships with plants, algae, cyanobacteria, and animals. Fungi absorb nutrients from a host. However, they retaliate actions that benefit the host, thus turning the parasitic relationship into a mutualistic one. as we have seen for the primal mycorrhizal associations that fungi form with most vascular plants. Let's jump to the next topic, fungi as mutualists. In fungus plant mutualisms, all plant species studied to date appear to harbor symbiotic endophytes. Fungi are bacteria that live inside leaves and other plant parts without causing harm. Most fungal endophytes identified are ascomycetes. Fungal endophytes benefit certain grasses and other non-woody plants by making toxins that deter herbivores or increasing host plant tolerance to heat, drought, or heavy metals. Researchers are studying how fungal endophytes affect a woody plant, tested whether leaf endophytes benefit seedlings of the cacao tree. Their findings show that the fungal endophytes of woody flowering plants can play a significant role in defending against pathogens. As mentioned earlier, some fungi do share their digestive surfaces with animals, helping them to break down plant material in the guts of cattle and other grazing mammals. Many species of ants take advantage of the digestive power of fungi by raising them in farms. Leafcutter ants scout tropical forests in search of leaves and carry them back to their nest. The fungi will then consume the leaves that the ant can't digest. The ants feed primarily on these nutrient-rich tips, which develop as the fungi grow.
Thank you for time given to me. I will present about lichens. A lichen is a symbiotic association between a photosynthetic microorganism and a fungus, in which millions of photosynthetic cells are in a mass of fungal hyphae. The photosynthetic partners are unicellular or filamentous green algae or cyanobacteria. The fungal component is most an ascomycete, but 1 glomeromycete and 75 basidiomycete are known. The fungus gives lichen its overall shape and structure, and tissues formed by hyphae account. The merger of fungus and alga or cyanobacterium is so complete that lichens gave scientific names as though they were single organisms. As might be expected of such dual organisms, asexual reproduction as a symbiotic unit is well known. The fungi of many lichens also reproduce sexually. In most lichens, each partner provides something the other could not obtain on its own. The alga or cyanobacterium provides carbon compounds. The fungus provides its photosynthetic partner with a suitable environment for growth. The physical arrangement of hyphae allows for gas exchange, protects that photosynthetic partner, and retains water and mineral. The fungus also secretes acids which aid in the uptake of mineral. For the next material will be brought by my friend, and time is yours.
Thank you, Wawan. So I will to explain the next material. Fungi as parasites. Fungi as parasites, like mutualistic fungi, parasitic fungi absorb nutrients from living host cells, but they provide no benefit in return. An example of a plant pathogen is the Gryphonectria parasite. The ascomycet fungus then causes chestnut blight, which has dramatically changing the landscape of the northeastern United States. In addition to ascomycets, Fusarium circinatum causes pine cancer, a disease that threatens pines worldwide. Some fungi that attack food crops produce compounds that are toxic to humans. One example is the ascomycet, Clavicet purpurea, which grows on rye plants, forming a purple structure called ergot. When infected rye is ground into flour, the toxins from the ergot can cause ergotism. In addition to plants, parasitic fungi also attack animals. However, animals are less susceptible to parasitic fungi than plants. Only about 500 fungi are known to parasitize on animals. One such parasite, the chytrid Batrachocatium dendrobrachitis, caused the extinction of about 200 species of frogs and other amphibians. The general term for infection in animals by parasitic fungi is mycosis. That's all I can explain about this material. For the next part will be explained by Zelbia. To Zelbia, if you please.
Thank you, Naura. So I will explain the next material. In humans, skin mycosis, including ringworms, are seen because of their circular red areas on the skin, most commonly ascomycetes, because ringworms to grow on the feet, causing intense itching and blisters known as athlete foot. Cystic mycosis is in contrast spread throughout the body and usually cause severe illness. In health, spores are common cause of them. For example, coccidioidomycosis is a systemic mycosis that produces tuberculosis-like symptoms in the lung. Some mycoses are opportunistic, only occurring when change in the body microorganism, chemical environment, or immune system allow fungus to grow uncontrollably. Candida albicans, for example, is one of the regular inhabitants of moist epithelium, such as the lining of the vagina. Under the curtain circumstance, Candida can overgrow and become pathogenic, causing what? Called a yeast infection. Many other opportunistic mycoses in humans have become more common in recent decades, in part because of age, which compromises the immune system. That's all I can explain about this material. For the next part will be explained by Putri. To Putri, if you please.
Thanks to my colleague Sylvia Regina who has explained the previous section, then I will explain about practical uses of the fungi. Humans use fungi and how to use them for beneficial purposes. Here, the practical uses of fungi. The first, we do not have to travel far to find practical use of fungi in food. As we know, some types of mushroom we can eat. For example, enoki mushroom, shiitake mushroom, oyster mushroom, button mushroom, truffles, and many more. In addition to being eaten directly, mushroom also change food ingredient into other types of food. For example, the fungus Mucor javanicus, which turns cassava into tapai. Rhizopus oligosporus, which converts soybeans into tempeh. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which converts flour into bread, and many more. The second, we use ascomycet penicillium that are used to produce antibiotic. Some produce antibiotics that are effective in treating bacterial infection. The first antibiotic discovered was penicillin by the Ascomycet fungus Penicillium. Mushrooms also have great medical value. For example, compounds extracted from ergot are used to reduce blood pressure and to stop maternal bleeding after childbirth. Other examples of drug derived from mushroom include cholesterol-lowering drug and cyclosporine, a drug used to suppress the immune system after an organ transplant. The last, most of what we consider decomposer are technical detritivores like earthworm, fiddle crab, and slug. Thus, the fungus also act as a decomposer, starting from dry leaves, dead tree animal carcasses to animal wastes decomposed with the help of fungi. Fungal hyphae grow through dead animal and plant tissue. Then, the hyphae will produce enzymes that can break down the animal or plant body. Thank you for your great attention. My authors we have shared be beneficial for all of us.